guys, howdy and hello, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm coming back to you with another tag. This is the BookTube Reading Habits Challenge. As I did last time, I'm going to put the questions at the bottom of the screen. Why do mine? You know when you got them tickle bitties, you just can't control them. They've got a mind of their own. So, do you have a certain place at home for reading? Why, yes, I do. It's called wherever I am at that current moment. I spend most of the time reading in my bed, but if I feel like a little fresh air, I'll go downstairs to the couch where you guys saw me in my Read With Me for Shadow one. Yeah, that's where I do my reading, in my bed. Bookmark or random piece of paper. I'm a big fan of bookmarks. They come in all shapes and sizes, they're so cute, and I'm also a shopaholic, so I will use any excuse to get a new bookmark. But we will come back to this because I did read some of these questions, we're coming back to it. Can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a chapter / a certain amount of pages? I am a serial reader. If the book is interesting, I cannot stop until it is done, which is probably part of the reason I finish books so quickly. But then the other part of it is that I actually am a fast reader. For example, I timed myself when I read Hex Hall, 362 pages. I read them in 3 hours and 46 minutes. According to Google, it takes the average person about 8 or so hours to finish a 300-page book. So that can tell you about how fast I read, and before you ask, yes, I do retain all of the information. So if I have to stop, I will wait until I finish the chapter. Other than that, I will just read it straight through, the whole thing in one sitting. Do you eat or drink while reading? So no, if I have to stop, then I'm just gonna close the book completely. I don't want any distractions when I'm reading. Again, as you saw in my Read With Me, I stopped reading the book so that I could eat, because we can't keep reading if we're dying of starvation. Multitasking. Music or TV while reading? No. In fact, so part of the reason I got into reading is because my mother really used to love to read. And I was with her the other day, and she was like, hey, do you want to read? And I said, sure. And I was already reading, and she came into the room and immediately turned on the TV. And I was like, what are you doing? She was like, I like background noise when I read. And I was like, no, we need complete silence. The only background noise that is acceptable when you are reading is rain. That's it. Or maybe a dog bark, because you can block that out. But no TV, no music. If there is music, probably classical, but that's like if there has to be music, which there doesn't. One book at a time or several at once? Do people read multiple books at the same time? Obviously it wouldn't be a question. I think I would find it difficult to have multiple different books going at the same time. Hard to keep up with the storylines as well as to get into the book. Like I said, I'm a fast reader, so for me, I could read several books in one sitting, but whether I'm reading them like one chapter here, one chapter there, and then starting over with the second chapter in each book, I don't think I couldn't do that. Reading at home or everywhere? Everywhere. That is the magic of books, okay? Read them at home because you're feeling nice and cozy. You're bored? Read when your girl went to vote. I waited in line for an hour, even though I know some people have waited longer, but I took my book with me, so I got an hour of reading instead of just standing there in line, like on my phone, losing brain cells, or I don't know, looking at the concrete. Reading out loud or silently in your head? I read silently in my head, but I have reactions out loud. So if something is genuinely funny in a book, I will cackle quite unattractively out loud. Or if something dramatic has happened in the book, I will verbally respond out loud. I don't like to read around people. They get all judgy. But read silently in my head, react out loud. Do you read ahead or even skip pages? No. In fact, so this is how we're going back to question 2 about the bookmark versus a piece of paper. I will use the bookmark or a piece of paper, anything really, if I think that I'm going to try to read ahead. Like if it's a really intense scene and I'm getting myself hyped up, I will grab something so that I can block the rest of the page or pages so that I don't cheat myself out of finding out what happens. I do not skip. However, funnily enough, when it comes to like movies or even books, I don't believe in spoilers, because just because I know what happens doesn't take away the experience of like how it happened to me. So like if there's a big reveal in the book, you can tell me the reveal because I still get to experience it. Breaking the spine or keeping it like new. I'm gonna be honest, this is slightly embarrassing. I've never heard of breaking the spine until just now when I read that question. I keep it like new unless it's a book that I've read multiple times. I'm not gonna go out of my way to like break the spine. I know that some people do, but like, so the Host, for example, my copy of the Host, the spine is broken, but I have literally read that book over 10 times. So what did you expect? It's just, it is what it is. Lastly, do you write in your books? So I didn't, but after I did my mini book haul, I talked about how I found books with Chloe and she annotates her books, and I've actually started doing that. I found it very helpful for my larger books like The Host, Shadow Wand, the whole Blackwood series, Chain of Gold. When I was reading those, I found it very helpful for me to mark and annotate in the thick books, 500 or more pages. But yeah, I do. I've started writing in my books, not all of them, but a good majority. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you like this video, be sure to like this video, and I'll see you in the next one, my little baby chickens.